Hi, everyone. I'm here today with Jaime Hilario. He is the co-founder and director of Screen Rescue. Hi, Jaime. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Doug.
How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good, thanks. It's pouring with rain outside, but that's this time of year, isn't it? So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
just to start off, tell me about Screen Rescue. What does Screen Rescue as a company offer its customers? Just so that people can understand what you're all about.
Screen Rescue basically offers the best windscreen repairs possible on the planet because of the equipment we use. It's the latest state-of-the-art American equipment. We've got sole rights to use that equipment in the UK as franchisors. The service we offer is unparalleled. It's professional, and people rely on our service.
Okay, and so Screen Rescue. Tell me a bit about that. Are we talking windscreen replacement? Are we talking fixing chips in windscreens? Are we talking is this at a commercial, or is this at a kind of a private level? So who are your customers, I suppose, and what exactly do you end up doing with the screens or windscreens?
Okay, we are repairs only. We're not replacement. So we like to call ourselves a green company. Windscreens do not biodegrade in landfill. So we're all about saving the windscreens in vehicles. Sorry, there were various parts to that question, Doug.
There were. So yeah, the other aspect was, okay, so screen repair, right? That makes sense.
Repairs only, yeah.
And then is it mainly aimed at a commercial market, or is it something that I, as a, if I've got a chip in my windscreen in my car at the back, can I come to you? In terms of your customer makeup?
We don't operate with Joe Public, shall we say? We do business to business.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And tell me a bit about that commercial aspect of it. What's a makeup? What's an example of a commercial client that you would work with?
A commercial client, for instance, is car dealerships.
Yeah.
Mainly dealing in second-hand vehicles. Companies with fleet vehicles, so any companies with HGVs, vans, taxi companies, coach companies. That's our target market.
Right. Okay. And would that include like car hire companies as well?
Absolutely.
With a fleet.
Absolutely.
Anything with a fleet. Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about how the business was originally started, where it was started, and how you got involved.
Well, we were involved a few years ago with a local repair company, which wasn't run very successfully in the fact that it wasn't. No one had liveried vehicles. There was no logos. And because of Amanda's background in franchising and my background in sales, we both agreed that this could be done a lot more professionally, which is why we came up with the name and the logo for Screen Rescue, which is Amanda's doing, actually.
Right. Yeah, I was going to come on to that. So yeah, so Screen Rescue, how that process of deciding a name, like you and Amanda obviously had a chat about that. How many different kind of names, iterations did you go through to come up with Screen Rescue? How did you come to that? I always find it interesting. I mean, it seems obvious, Screen Rescue, but there's always a bit of a story behind a brand name.
Yeah, some of them are quite comical. I can't remember all of them that we came up with, but Screen Rescue seemed to sort of sound okay. It rolled off the tongue okay. And because of the rescue word, that's how the logo then got developed. With the green cross, and then the gun sight, and then the chip behind it, as you can see on the logo behind me. So
yeah.
The vehicles have that across the side and the bonnet, and that's all they have. And people remark on how clean and fresh the vehicles look. They're not cluttered, shall we say?
Yeah.
It's a good logo that stands out.
Yeah, no, it is definitely. I can see that. It does. It's quite striking, actually. So, and so in terms of, so this was you guys started this business in the UK. Where did you come across the US side of things? So like how did that come into it? How did you get exclusivity, and what exactly have you got in terms of exclusivity working with US products? Or yeah, just tell me a bit about that side.
Well, in order to form our own company and to call ourselves repairs only, we had to ensure that the equipment we used was the best you could get, which is when we came across our supplier in the UK. He then demonstrated the equipment, and it far exceeded our expectations in terms of what it could do. And we decided that's what we've got to have. That's the best. That's the best out there. So that's what we'll run with.
And that equipment, it's US. Is it comes out of the US? So yeah. The supplier in the UK has exclusivity, and you work with them basically to they supply.
Yeah. We have sole rights as franchisors to use this equipment.
Okay, all right. And that equipment, is it being used in the US in a similar way through a brand that's offering a similar service in the US, or not, or do you not know?
The equipment, because of its cost, the equipment is only offered to companies.
Right. Okay.
So some companies with a large fleet that could possibly afford to buy the equipment,
yeah,
that's maybe who they will target.
Yeah. Okay. And when you looked at Screen Rescue as a business, how long was it before you effectively franchised the business? So what was the journey? So you came up with obviously a logo and a name, and you built your model and got your equipment, but tell me what happened from that point to and how franchising came into it. You mentioned Amanda had some background in franchising. So was this from the very beginning you thought about when you started the business?
Yeah, because of Amanda's background with the franchise that she had, she very quickly became the most successful franchisee, with a turnover in the first year over £1 million.
Right.
And because of her knowledge with that, I was very happy for her to head the franchising side of Screen Rescue.
Right. Okay. And Amanda's background, tell me a bit about that. What's her background in franchising? So what experience did she bring, which has obviously really helped you get to where you are now?
Yeah, Amanda had a franchise with Select Appointments.
Yeah.
Down near North London, I think. And she quickly built a strong team around it, and then sold the business 2 years later.
Right. Okay.
So I understand the franchisor used to visit her every week because she was the most successful franchisee of the group.
And now what's your role in the business? What's her role in the business? If you talking about Screen Rescue again.
My role in the business is out in the field, predominantly training and mentoring franchisees. Amanda's role is in-house. She does all the money side of the business. So together, it's a good team.
Yeah. And where are you up to? So in terms of your network size and growth, Jaime, talk to me about so let's go back again. What I want people to understand is the length of time it sometimes takes to go from being a successful business and proving a model before you can actually then offer it to others as a franchise opportunity. So what did that timeline look like?
Before COVID, we launched our second territory east of London. Then COVID struck, and then we got our franchisee in Stevenage. We actually launched Keith during COVID, which was challenging to say the least.
Yeah.
But it proved that even with masks, we could quickly grow Stevenage. Keith has now taken on St Albans area as well. So Keith's now 3 years in, and without masks, finds it much easier to carry on his business.
Yeah. Yeah. And how many franchisees have you got now? And what are your plans? And what's the goal in the UK?
Amanda wants, within the next 12 months, minimum 6 more.
Yeah.
Within the next 12 months, we have to set a realistic figure. I think six is going some.
Yeah.
A lot of work involved there, but I think it's achievable. The second franchisee we have is now, he's just finished his first year and has smashed the £100,000 target, which is great news.
Yeah. So
we're now busy promoting that fact. So it's onwards and upwards.
And what how many franchisees can the UK hold effectively, realistically, and viably over time? What's the goal?
I would comfortably say 30.
Yeah. So for you, do you see it as a kind of a 5-year plan to build that up and effectively be a national brand at that point?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen different franchisors operating, and we feel some of them slice areas into too many segments.
Yeah.
We offer franchisees a large enough area to be able to have a multi-van territory.
Right.
So they can see the potential of becoming a manager within their area, having technicians working for them. And in order to have that, the territories have to be large enough. But you can also run the risk of having an area that's too large as well.
Yeah.
And then it's underachieving, which is, so that trying to strike a balance there is quite critical. But we believe that the path that we're on at the moment seems to be perfect.
So ideally, you're looking for people to come in, be granted access to a larger territory, run the van themselves and get to understand a business from that side, and then have the ambition to add van number 2 and number 3 and effectively turn it into more of a management type business than a van-based business for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good. Sounds like a good strategy. And I think Jaime, yeah, you're right. Sustainable growth is slower growth, but slower growth comes because you've got to find the right people, especially with that kind of a model. So, I think everything you're saying there makes absolute sense to me. So, yeah, it's all about finding the right people, really, and finding that balance. Yeah, because it's so easy for people to have ambition to start with, but then get very comfortable in a good business, in a one van business, and then never develop the rest of the territory. And I've seen that over the years as well. So yeah, good luck with that. It's that's a tricky proposition, but when it works well, it's brilliant. So as a franchise business, and you've been doing this a while and you understand franchising now, what so far have been the biggest hurdles that you've faced, either personally or as a company? And yeah, I would say COVID, I think is an obvious one that everyone faced problems there. But maybe something outside of the whole COVID situation, where you've had to overcome something, and in either the business or the franchise side of the business. Is there anything that springs to mind?
We saw an opportunity to introduce different services within Screen Rescue. So predominantly we started with windscreen repairs, which was chips on cars, HGVs, more large commercial vehicles. We can repair cracks on those. We saw an opportunity with the latest technology with cars. They have these automatic sensors on the windscreens, which basically, as you're driving along, if something hits the windscreen, drop of water, it sets the wipers off. And quite often you have grit and debris under the wiper blades, which then cause a lovely rainbow arc scratch on your windscreen. And we were able to offer, I think it was about 7 years ago now, scratch removal and polishing service, which this service has now become so needed because the cost of the windscreens has just gone through the roof. They are now hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Large vehicles, BMWs, Mercedes, large Volvos, when they first come off the production line, the windscreens are over £1,000 on these vehicles. So it's out of the question for a dealership to replace the windscreen for a client and still retain profit in the vehicle. So this is where we come in, and we're able to do the repairs, and now we can do scratches. And the scratch side is great. It's enabled us to get into dealerships where they also have their own repairers. But because we do the scratch service, that enables us to get in the door, get the foot in the door, and then we're able to show them further down the line what our repairs are like as well. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, and what do before you come along, what do you see dealerships using or doing to solve the problem of chips on their fleet, on their fleet vehicles and scratches and things like that? What have they? Yeah, what do you typically see, and why are you so much better than that in terms of a solution?
I would say 99% of companies we come across have never heard of scratch repair. So that's an easy in for us. With regards to windscreen repair equipment, that's also very easy for us because predominantly it's without mentioning any names, there is a company offering commercial clients a windscreen repair kit, which is quite costly. It's over £1,000, and I think it entails one person going on a course for a few days to learn how to use the equipment. But because it's very basic, it can't do the repairs that we can do in the time. And more often than not, it gets left on the shelf, this piece of equipment.
Right.
So we come along, they explain to us, no, we don't need your services, thank you, we have our own equipment. Oh, we find out what the equipment is. We then find a vehicle with a damage and show them what we can do. And all of a sudden, it's a no-brainer because the cost of our repairs isn't through the roof. We are about saving companies expensive replacements. And when they work the figures out, their equipment stays on the shelf and they start using Screen Rescue.
Yeah, that all makes sense. So okay, well that's really interesting. Just for anyone that's listening who either themselves are interested in the Screen Rescue as a business, or they know someone who might find it interesting, maybe just be made redundant or looking to leave their job or employment. where's the best starting point for them to find out more information about Screen Rescue?
The best starting point. Good question.
So where can they go online? So so in terms of, is there a website that's a good starting point for them to get some more information about a Screen Rescue franchise opportunity?
Yeah, they can go onto our website.
Yep.
Screenrescue.co.uk has all the relevant information on there.
Yep.
We're going to soon add some videos as well, which is coming. So look out for that.
Okay.
But Amanda predominantly deals with the recruitment side of the business there.
Yeah. So anyone interested would end up having a chat with Amanda at some point, of course, and she'd be able to answer a lot of questions. So,
yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's that. Jaime, just focusing on companies that are not yet a franchise, but are successful in what they do, and they are considering franchising as a way to grow in the UK. Let's focus on the UK. What would you say to them? What are the first, or what are some steps that you would advise them to take, which are really important? And the reason I ask that question is because, in our experience, business owners, when they first start looking at franchising, it can seem really simple. The concept of franchising can be laid out really simply, but we all know that actually it's pretty complicated and there's complex aspects to it. So I just wanted to get your thoughts as to what kind of tips or what thoughts should people give when they start considering going down that franchising their business route?
I would suggest the franchise legal agreement is one of the most important documents that needs to be in place before starting that. You've put me on the spot, though.
I like to do that, Jaime. So
you do.
So talking about talking about your journey, for example, and I suppose, there's the legal agreements. In terms of systemization, I mean, franchising is all about systemization. So are there things that you'd recommend a company does as a business without it being a franchise before going down that road of actually franchising their business? What kind of things do you think need to be, systemized, I suppose, the best word to use there?
I can only answer that from our perspective.
I guess that's what I'm looking for. From a Screen Rescue perspective.
Having everything in place to be able to franchise the business. So to put everything in place, we had the franchise legal agreement set up. We had the company logo, the company name, the strategy of operating the business. The target market was set up. So the training side, Amanda operates the training side with the office. I can offer the training side to franchisees out in the field. And to have everything in place, it was, Keith in Stevenage, launching Keith during COVID was extremely demanding, which shows that it actually does work.
Yeah. And in that COVID situation, was there still I'm guessing there was still enough business out there. There was still enough commercial operators that were allowed to operate at certain, various stages of that kind of almost 2-year period, that you were able to get in front of effectively. And challenging as it was, you obviously, you managed to get through that.
Yeah, I mean, because of what we do, repairs only, we predominantly save companies tens of thousands of pounds every year.
Yeah.
So people that want to join Screen Rescue, it's, if they've never done sales before, it's not too difficult for them to be able to sell our service, because you're selling a service which is predominantly saving money. So even during a recession, it's quite easy for us to open doors because we're saving companies a fortune.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, and all of your repairs, are they all carried out on the forecourts or in the location of these commercial enterprises?
Yeah. We run with small commercial vans.
Yeah.
Which can be seen on the website there. So we're completely mobile, independent. With regards to repairing scratches, we do have to plug into an electrical socket, so we just have to ensure that we can do that on site. So
yeah, okay. And what can you tell me about the regularity, if you like, of vehicles getting chips in their windscreen, for example, or scratches? It's pretty common. I mean, obviously from a car owner's perspective myself, every couple of years or every few years, a chip develops on the windscreen. What kind of stats do you have about the chances of a chip happening in a windscreen of any vehicle, I suppose, and also just with the amount of vehicles on the road? What I'm trying to get, I guess, is an idea of the size of the market that you cater to really.
Yeah, well, the proven business model that we use ensures that we have large enough clients, which then gives the franchisee a repeat business month in, month out. Some of our clients require a weekly check. For instance, a large dealership with say 300 used cars, every week they're selling volumes of cars. So let's say 25% of those cars, 30% are sold. They have to be then replaced. So there's always fresh new vehicles for us to check damages on. And because of the proven business model with the clients that are large enough, it ensures that there are, I can't tell you here and now how many repairs each client will have a week or a month, but they will have repairs.
Yeah.
Because of the size. So there are repair companies out there which deal with Joe Public. So your car, for instance, your own private car, that would get repaired once every 2 years.
Yeah.
Whereas our clients, we have guaranteed repairs either every week, every 2 weeks, or monthly.
Yeah, no, that makes it. Yeah, that makes sense, Jamie. So yes, because I don't do a huge amount of mileage. So if I have a repair, if I need a repair every 2 years, a car that is consistently on the road as part of a fleet vehicle, there's going to be repairs maybe once every 6 months or once every 3 months, or
exactly.
So it's so I can see how that can build. And that's interesting what you say there. I think it's really. It sounds like a great business model. Once you have that relationship with a commercial company that has a fleet, you keep that relationship, and there's consistent work coming through that relationship.
Absolutely. People our clients see us, they become to rely on our regular service. So they expect us to do a check for them, either weekly or 2 weekly or monthly.
Yeah, yeah.
And we become a reliable aspect.
Yeah,
they trust us. They trust us to just ensure that their windscreens don't need replacing if they don't need replacing. So,
yeah, no, it's good. Sounds like a great business, Jamie. It makes absolute sense. And so, really, the last question I had for you was, what, in franchise terms, what do you see as Screen Rescue being a success ultimately? Obviously, you're still on your franchising journey. You're going to build out to maybe 30 plus franchisees in time. But how do you view success in the future? Like, what are you and Amanda talking about in terms of this is what we're trying to achieve?
I'd like, if I say to you, let's talk about windscreen replacement, Doug, you would probably come up with a name, Autoglass.
Yeah.
Which would be, they are considered, I would say, the largest, the number one, probably in Europe.
Yeah.
Amanda and I would like Screen Rescue to become the number one name for repairs. So Autoglass would be for replacement, and we'd like Screen Rescue for repair.
Sounds like a good goal to me, Jamie.
Yeah.
It does. So, well, listen, thanks so much for, thanks so much for coming on. That's been really, really interesting. Hopefully we'll bump into you at various franchise events throughout the year.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Doug.
All right. Take care. Cheers for now, Jamie.
All the best.
Bye.